Good evening, my family. We are now in the homestead kitchen, and this is where I am going to be making the all-American Chicago-style hot dog. Yes, I know this is a processed meat. However, it is one of the better for diabetic because we are going low-carb version along with macaroni and cheese. Again, low-carb. Now, I have never tried it this way, but I tried a version of using a melted cheese on cauliflower, and it tasted really good. So we're going to kick it up a notch. I had learned this recipe from Low Carb Love. She had made many years ago, and we are going to put this on our table tonight. So I'm going to go through it, and I will give you the recipe, but crediting it to her. So we are going to actually start first with the macaroni and cheese, and we're going to get right to the kitchen. What I had done is I took a whole head of cauliflower. I cut it up to florets only. If you didn't want to use the whole head, you can just get it pre-done for you, or you can use the freezer. Just don't get it too soft, y'all. Just a few minutes or so. You just want to lightly steam it. You want to make it where it's fork tender but not mushy. So we're going to be baking this. My oven is preset to 375 degrees because, again, we're going to be baking it. So let's get started, and let's make some macaroni and cheese the low carb way, as we have hot dogs and macaroni and cheese. Who'd have thought we could? Okay, my family, so here we begin. Our cauliflower has been cooked and it's fork tender. I am adding about 6 slabs or strips of bacon diced to this because we're going to add some bacon goodness to ours. We're now going to set this aside, and we're going to go ahead and make our cheese sauce. So let's set you up in this kitchen so that we can get our cheese sauce made. Alright, my family, as always, I will be putting the recipe in the description box below, but the credit's going to go to Low Carb Love. So we need 3/4 cups of almond milk. Now this is unsweetened for us. Almond milk, you use whatever kind you like to use. But with my husband being diabetic, he definitely does not need the sweetener. So we are using unsweetened. And it's what I use as well. And we don't want to make this, it's got calories enough to it. So we are going to be using 1/4 cup of heavy whipping cream. Make sure I'm doing that. Yes, 1/4 cup. And this heavy whipping cream I got from Kroger's. This one here is far greater and better than the stuff at Walmart. The flavor is even better. So I don't know. I may end up keep going over there for that for us. That might be something I might stock. Besides Walmart these days, that and Aldi's has really good meats and stuff that are great for a diabetic that are not processed. All right, now we need 3 ounces of cream cheese. I'm gonna set this in here. Now I'm going to turn this on medium high. I don't want to get it too high. Sorry, y'all. Let me go ahead and mute this. Alright, so we've gotten this turned on. The next step we're going to be doing is adding our seasoning. Let me go ahead and put this milk away, and we'll be right back. Okay, I don't particularly like leaving my milks out. It just kind of, it doesn't do me well. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to try to whisk this together right now. let this come down here a little bit so we can melt our cream cheese. Break it up. Just like so. And we're going to need to salt and pepper this, and we're going to do it by taste. So I'm just going to turn around and taste this afterwards too, but I'm going to go ahead and add some salt and pepper. Get some of our salt. Again, I use Himalayan sea salt, y'all. I don't like using iodized salt, especially with the fact that I'm a cancer survivor and no thyroid. I try to stay away from the iodine, basically. And I started using more sea salts, and I like Himalayan because of the minerals in it. Alright, so while this is still coming down to melting our cream cheese, we're going to go ahead and add a teaspoon of dried parsley, a teaspoon of garlic powder, and a 1/4 teaspoon of chili powder. And we're going to add that in to our sauce. We're going to mix this all together. Alright, now I'm going to allow the cream cheese to melt a little bit first. Once that is melted, we will come back and I will show you what our next steps will be. Alright, so fairly got all of our cream cheese melted. Now we're going to add 1½ cups of mixture between sharp cheddar cheese and mozzarella. Now, the difference with me is I'm not using your average block mozzarella. I'm actually going to try this with fresh mozzarella. So I chunked this one up instead of shredding it. So I am going to add this into my sauce. I think fresh leaves it so much better than just the blocks. So, and you want to grate it, y'all. You really don't want to try to stay away from the pre-shredded stuff because there's preservatives in that. And if you can really withstand grating your own, I encourage you to do so. Stay away from the stuff that's pre-done. Alright, so now we're just going to take and mix this together. Make a nice creamy sauce out of this. Once we get this melted, we're going to go on to our next step. Oh, it's working. Yes, y'all, this is working nicely. Smells really good. Alright, we're just going to continue melting all of this cheese. Once this is melted, again, we'll come back to the next step. Alright, my family, so our cheese sauce is finished. See that? Whoosh. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and pour all of this sauce all over our cauliflower and our bacon mix. I'm going to make sure I'm going to get all of this goodness. You know, nothing's going to be standing behind. Okay. Sorry about that. I'll scrape out the pot. All right, now notice we didn't put any flour to that. The typical macaroni and cheese that are homemade will add flour. This one does not. Alright, y'all, had to get that cheese stuff out of my pan. Now, what I'm just going to do is mix this up really, really good. And now I'm going to find a baking dish that we're going to put this all in because we're going to bake it now after this. Alright, so now I'm going to go ahead and get our baking dish. And I am going to slightly grease that baking dish. I'm going to use olive oil spray on ours. And when I do, I'll come back because we're going to put a topping on this afterwards. Okay, y'all. So now we're going to pour our mix. Pull this down just a little bit into our casserole dish. Y'all, this looks amazing. I can't lie. It actually looks amazing. I've never done this before, so I'm not quite sure. I mean, I'm used to macaroni and cheese like every American person with pasta, not with cauliflower. So this is going to be interesting even for me. Why would I be doing this when I'm a Mediterranean person? Because like every family, not everybody's the same. That includes this channel. Now, me and my husband both have our own takes in life. He is an all-American Southern man, and I grew up north, so Mediterranean is absolutely amazing to me. But occasionally, he likes his all-American food just like everybody else. So, I'm accommodating him. Yet, I'm also keeping it safe. So, this is part of the reason of keeping it safe, is making him a substitute macaroni and cheese and his hot dogs that he likes. And he's accommodating me because I'm going back to my childhood with if I'm going to eat a hot dog, I want it the way I like it. So, and he can make his any way he wants to. But I'm going to make mine. I don't make him eat what I like particularly. So, all right. Now let's go to our topping because we are not done yet. So with our topping, we need a half a cup of ground pork skins. Then we need a half a cup of grated Parmesan cheese. We're going to mix this all together very well. Mix this in here together. And then we're going to add 2 tablespoons of melted butter. And we're going to bring this mix all together so that we can create that nice topping like everybody knows their macaroni and cheese to have, especially in the South. So I'm going to take my melted butter and I'm going to mix that in there. Now the butter that I used, that was from the homemade butter that we had made the other day. Oh my goodness, y'all, that stuff is so good. So now I'm going to mix this all together. Okay. Now when we put this in the oven, we're going to have to watch that the pork rinds does not burn, but we're going to get everything melted and nice and crispy. So now I'm just going to go ahead and sprinkle this on the top of my macaroni and cheese, making that crispy, crunchy topping. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I can't lie. This is looking good. I'm really hoping it tastes as good as it looks. So this is the macaroni and cheese portion of our dinner, our side dish. I could have went with the cauliflower potato salad like I usually do, but something told me macaroni and cheese with our hot dogs was even better. So now we're going to pop this in the oven, and we're going to bake this for about 15 minutes at 375 degrees preheated oven. So when we come back in about 15 minutes, we'll let you see how that one is. I'm going to go ahead, set our timer. I love this timer. Whoops. And we'll be back in 15 minutes. While we wait for our macaroni and cheese to get finished, y'all, I'm going to ask you, I'm not selling recipes, therefore I'm not doing membership. I'm not selling special videos for certain people. My family is my family. All 9,000 of us is a family. I would like us to grow more, but I need your help. It doesn't cost you anything to hit that like button to keep us generated. It lets YouTube know that you are interested in me. If you have not subscribed to this channel, please do so. I normally don't bring this up, but I would like to see us go even further. I know I've not done, and I'm not doing the lives right now, but I'm protecting my family. And the only way to do that is to cut out the riffraff and take away the stress of things. I like our family together. Now, I will do lives with you every once in a while. I'm not going to completely cut that out. I definitely will not do a membership because I will not separate my family who can't afford to do that. So please help me. Just hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you've not already done so. And if you have, please make sure that you're still subscribed. And that's all I'm going to say. Now let's get back to cooking. Oh my goodness, look at that, y'all. Look at that creamy, cheesy. Oh, wait, I gotta bring it closer. Look at that. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna actually wait till this cools down a bit so I don't burn my mouth, because I really want to dig in and try this one. I'm excited. Okay, my people, let's see if this is any good. It sure looks it, and it's creamy. My goodness, is this creamy. Look at that cheesy oosh. Oh my. Okay, so we're going to try a little bit of this. I don't want to eat too much of it because I'm going to eat it with hubby. So let's fix you up here. Now let's see if we can do this without burning my mouth. That's hot. This is cauliflower. I don't know. I mean, it smells really good and everything. I don't want to burn my mouth. Alright, let's try this. Okay, I'm not going to lie to you. I end up finishing off that bowl when I got off the camera. So, my review. Y'all, this is something I would absolutely do again. I have made the cauliflower potato salad, and honestly, I was really impressed at that time how it actually could taste really good for cauliflower. Now, I'm not a fan of eating this all the time, but when we can create dishes like this, oh, wow. Okay, so would I refer everybody to try this who is on low carb or a diabetic? Absolutely, y'all. Try this recipe. It is amazing. Now, mind you, just like the rest of us, those who are diabetic, no, or low carb, you cannot have pasta. Though you can if you wanted to. There are some who do, and I get that, but there are others who know that they can't. So they don't even try. They look for alternatives. If you were going to have an alternative to a pasta, this would be it. My other option might be, but it might change the taste a little bit, would be yellow or spaghetti squash. That one might work, but top rating, cauliflower absolutely works. So I am looking forward to eating this. This is yummy. So let's go to our hot dogs next. Yeah, I want to also, before I begin our next part of our supper, I wanted to take a moment to wish Marcia a recovery. She's had eye surgery today. I have been praying for her, praying over the doctors who are over her. And I want her to know that I am thinking about you, Marisa. I have been praying for you all day, sweetheart. I hope you have a nice recovery. I really hope and pray everything went well for you. I am here. I have not forgotten you. And I'm sending you big hugs from Mississippi, sweetheart. Hope you actually get to at least hear this. So if not, you'll catch it later. But I was thinking of you, and I ask the rest of my family, please keep her in prayer, at least for recovery, for comfort, and everything else that she needs. So I'm going to get back to cooking again, but I wanted to take that brief moment for that because this is my family. And in all areas of my life, I am a lover of the Lord too, and I do pray over my family, especially in situations that require surgeries and everything else, or sickness, or just anything. So I'm taking that time out for my family. This channel isn't always about me, it's about all of you. So we'll get back to work. All right, my family, I just got the message that my husband's on his way home from work. So that means we're going to proceed with the next step. Chicago style hot dogs. Now, not a lot of people know about these. Many may already know about it. But here in the Deep South, we can't get those type of products. You'd have to specially order it. There was a particular lady who was a blessing to us. And I had already given her the shout out. But she asked me to do one thing. Show everyone how to make this. But the stipulation for me is I can't do the authentic. So what I'm going to do is I am going to tell you what the real authentic way to make the Chicago dog, and I am also going to show you how you can do this low carb instead. So the original bun, for instance, the Chicago style hot dog has poppy seed buns. However, if you are diabetic, you probably cannot have that bun. So we are actually going with low carb instead. So this is something, and no, it is not poppy seed, but it is a bun. Now, even if we do alterations to this, it can still have that same flavor. So, and that's what we're going to do. Now, the other part of the Chicago style hot dog is the relish. Now, the original version of this hot dog is made with the Chicago style relish, the fluorescent green relish. You know, it's really not the Chicago style without that fluorescent green. However, to a diabetic, this can be very dangerous. This has got, for 1 tablespoon, 4 grams of carbs, and mainly the first ingredients right off the bat is cucumbers, water, vinegar, and high fructose and corn syrup, or high fructose corn syrup. So this is definitely a no for a diabetic. So any other person, this is the way to go. This is the original relish for the hot dog. However, if you are like me and has a husband who is diabetic, or anybody, or including you, you can substitute with a no sugar dill relish. It does not have to be fluorescent. Now, if you want it fluorescent, here's how you do it. Fake out. I've done it. You can take this, take a little bit in a dish, put some green food coloring in it, and voila, you got the relish. So simple way to do it, or just keep it like this: dill, no sugar, plain and simple. And this was home canned, so this is safe for my husband. The other is chopped onion. Y'all, those dogs have to have an onion, so we're going to be chopping an onion. The other part of this is the sport pepper. Now, this was the gift that was sent to me that I have not seen since I was a child. This is my little gem. There's just something about the sport pepper. I have substituted with pepperoncinis, and they worked for a while. I mean, they kind of psyched my brain, but there's just nothing like a real sport pepper. So to the lady who sent this to me, you know who you are. I've already mentioned your name. Sweetheart, thank you. From the bottom of my heart, thank you. You're my girl. So we're going to have the actual sport pepper tonight. And there is one other thing, and let me go ahead and get, I'm missing one item for this. Okay, so I cannot miss anything on this, because if I miss this, that's it. So the other products, so I've started saying that we have our low carb bun, we have our onions, we have our relish. The next thing we're going to need is our mustard. We have no ketchup or nothing, it's nothing but mustard. We have our deli spears, any way you want, we're going with Clausen. You have your tomato wedges, it's got to have tomato with this. We have our all beef hot dogs. Chicago style hot dogs are made with all beef. However, to get the authentic Vienna all beef hot dogs, or whatever kind that they use, they're really expensive. So here in the deep south, most people don't even know what a Chicago style hot dog is, let alone the beef. So we get the next best thing. For a diabetic, we try to stay away from as much processed food as possible, even Mediterranean. However, this is not one of those nights, and I get that. But if we're going to do processed, let's do the better of the bads. So we are going with the no fillers byproducts, no artificial colors and flavoring, and no gluten corn syrup, which is highly, for a diabetic, dangerous. So we are actually going with Nathan's 100% hot dogs tonight for this recipe. And the keynote to the Chicago style hot dog is the celery salt. However, this is not your ordinary celery salt. This is my homemade version. What I did was took real celery, the vegetable, I added it to the my dehydrator, dried it, turned it into powder, and then I added Himalayan sea salt to mine. And I now have my own creation, my own version, much more flavorful, which is going to enhance my hot dogs a whole lot better with my homemade celery salt. So it's simple as that, y'all. You can even make some tomato salt if you wanted to for an extra kick of flavoring. But we're going to go with the homemade version too. So if anybody that wants to try this and you have a chance to try it with this one, please do. I encourage you, because this will kick it up a notch. Let's get going. All right, my family. We're first going to start off with dicing some of our onions. Now this is just for 2 people, so we're not going to use all of this, but we're going to dice up a few of these onions. And then I'm going to put them in a dish, because we're just going to fix it up as we go along. Yeah, let me go wash this and get this paper off. Okay, we got this now. Now we can go ahead and chop up some of our. We're not going to go too big, but you don't want them too super tiny either. I'm sure hubby's going to want some of this for lunch tomorrow, so I'll make a little extra for him for lunch. And what I don't use, I can use in another dish. There we go. Just like that. And that's what we're going to do, is just dice up our onions. And this is ready to go. Then if I need more, I have some extra right here. So the next thing we're going to do is chop up our tomato. Only we're not going to chop this. These are done with slices. Now, I'll take the top off of here. And I am actually going to get a lot. I do not like a dull knife ever. It just bothers me to have a dull knife. So I'm going to take my tomato and we're just going to cut it whole like this. One more time. And then I'm going to come back, because we're looking for the wedges, and I'm just going to cut that directly down the center, and then I have my 2 pieces that I need. So we're going to need those. Now we're going to set this aside, and we'll have this for something else. Our broccoli, or our pickled spears are already done, so I do not have to cut those. Now all I have to do now is our hot dogs. Now there's a particular way to do the hot dogs. In the original version of the Chicago style hot dogs, they're steamed. Now in a real world like us who don't have that kind of equipment, steaming these can be hard. Now I could get out my biggest pot, which I have a steamer basket in it, and do it that way. Or I can just use a pot and put a minimal amount of water in here and cover it up, creating a steam. You don't want to blow them out though, so be careful on how you do this. However you find a way to steam this, steam your hot dogs, but try not to blow them out. The presentation is not that appealing, although it'll taste the same whether you do or don't. So our next step is we're going to add our hot dogs to our pan, and then we are going to steam our hot dogs the best way that we can. And go ahead and get a knife to open this package, or well, a pair of scissors actually, to open this up. And then we're going to lay these inside of our pan, just like so. I'm going to add just a little bit of water and a lid. And we're going to go ahead and steam our hot dogs right now, just like this. Now I'm going to go ahead and find my lid. And I'm pretty sure that's it right there. Now I'm going to put my water in here, and I'm just going to add just a little. Not a whole lot at all. I'm going to set this on the stove, and then we'll come back as soon as everything is done. Okay, y'all. Hubby is home for dinner, so I'm about to serve him and plate up his dish. Miss Donna, here we go. Now, mind y'all, know this again. This is not the original version. This is for low carb. But I did give you the ingredients that goes for the ordinary original. So we start out with our bun. If you are low carb, keto bun. If you are not, poppy seed bun. Next we start with our all beef hot dog, and we place that inside of our bun. Next comes the mustard that we put on top. Now, this is for my husband, so I'm not going to be using the Chicago style relish. I will be using this for me, very little of it. But with him, I'm using the home canned dill relish that is sugar free. So we'll be placing that on top. Just like so. Okay. Now we go with our slices of tomatoes and place them on the sides in here. Just like so. Now I am going to go ahead and place my onions on top of this. Next comes our pickle spear. If I can get this open. We did. Whoosh. Okay. Grab my pickle spear here. I'm going to place that on the side right there. Now comes these sports peppers, y'all. Ooh, yes. We're going to add a couple of our sports peppers in here. And then we are going to top this with our celery salt. And this is my homemade version of it. So I'm just going to sprinkle. Ooh, that smells so good. Sprinkle this on top. And that's it, y'all. There is the Chicago style hot dog. And I am so looking forward to having this for supper tonight. You have no idea. Miss Donna brought me a little bit of home to Mississippi with warm hugs. And that is our Chicago style hot dog. I will be serving this with our low carb macaroni and cheese. And we will be right back to show you the finished plate. And that's our supper tonight, y'all. Low carb Chicago style hot dogs and macaroni and cheese. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope this gives you an all-American quick fix, as least as possible on the preservatives, but you have the all-American style with a lot less guilt, especially those who are diabetic and would love to enjoy something decent. This is a good meal. I love you all, and until next time, much love from Parton's Heritage Homestead.